Hello and welcome to Talking Business with Beverly. I am your host and business strategist, Beverly Walthour. And so we want to thank you, the entrepreneur, for joining us as we support you in creating time and financial freedom in your business. And so we do this by not only addressing your business needs, but also your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial needs as well. And now join me in welcoming Angela Day to the show. Hello, Angela. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me here today.
You're welcome. And so Angela is a forgiveness coach and she's an author. So we're going to dive all into, how does she get started as being an author, a forgiveness coach? What exactly is a forgiveness coach? And so Angela, before we actually dive into the conversation, I love to play this game with my viewers where I ask them 3 random questions. So Angela, are you game to play the game?
Go right ahead.
Okay. So Angela, are you a cat person or a dog person?
I think I'm a dog person.
But so usually you have to think about it, it's like neither one. I don't even like either one of them, but
dog.
It's all good.
Yeah, I'm a dog.
Okay, dog person. Okay, and so what's your favorite snack?
My favorite, so many of them. I would say butter popcorn.
Okay, see, I love it when people do that and they instead of saying like celery and carrots and stuff, I'm like, leave that stuff. We don't want none of that. Okay, I love it. And so tell me, where is your favorite place to visit? Korea. Ooh, that's a good one. I love it. So, Angela, let's go ahead and dive into this conversation because I know they're wondering what in the world is a forgiveness coach and how did you become an author? So we're going to dive into all of that. Okay. So, Angela, tell our viewers just a little bit more about yourself.
Well, I was born and raised in Birmingham, Alabama. Okay, and I am the oldest of 2 sisters, and my mother's already gone to be with the Lord. My father too. I am retired Army, U.S. Army, all right, honorable discharge, and I thank God for blessing me to be able to do 20 years in the military. I love the Lord and I love helping people, find their purpose in God. So that's what I'm all about. I love helping people. I always look for ways that I can help people, looking for ways to do that. That's just me. I'm a giver, I'm a minister of helps. I love doing that.
I love it. So, first of all, what is a forgiveness coach? What is that?
Well, a forgiveness coach is one that teaches people how to use emotional healing with hands-on guidance. Okay, I help them to realize that they need to go back and find out what is the root of the problem. Why is it so hard for you to forgive that individual? What happened? Okay, stop saying everything is fine. People say, how are you? Fine. Fine.
We're all fine.
Right, and they're not fine. And they're not fine. You can see it in their expression, their face, the way they work, things that they do. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. And so, when it comes to this whole thing of forgiveness, there's so many layers to this. So let's start with, how do I'm like, but Angela, I'm fine. How do I know whether or not I've forgiven someone or something? How do I even know if I'm walking in forgiveness?
When somebody can say that person's name and you don't have, my head hurt, my stomach hurt. You don't get angry or you start laughing like you're in the middle of a conversation, you're laughing with someone else and they walk in and you just go,
oh wow,
can't stand her. But you were just laughing, just happy. So if you got over her, why are you letting it bother you now? And that's it, you haven't. So you haven't let it go yet.
So is it usually a physical reaction that they have? Because you said, like my stomach hurts or, is it usually a physical response?
Well, majority of the time it is, and then other times it is not. But usually that's a body expression. Something is going on. Either their face, they start frowning, or they start looking angry, and you're wondering, you were just laughing, what's the problem? And then they'll say, I can't stand her. I thought you had got over that. What she did to you 10 years ago. How long has it been? And they haven't.
Wow.
They haven't.
And so how does it impact people when they have not forgiven someone?
Well, I find out that they can't have a stable relationship, okay? They've been divorced 3 or 4 times and they don't know why. They go from one man to another man or one woman to another woman, you know what I'm saying? It's like they can't trust, they have trust issues, okay? And it's hard for them to be loved because really they don't love themselves, okay? And they don't love God. They have let God go completely because they think that He's done all this to them, made people abuse them and hurt them when they were growing up. So why should I serve a God like that? You know, They forgot who God really is. God is a God of love, compassion, mercy. He would never ever let anything happen to you. But there are consequences when you step out of the zone, when you step out of the safety of his arms, there are consequences. Now, he still loves you, he still cares for you, but he's a God of free choice. He gives us a choice. He tells us to choose life, not death. But still, people choose what they want to choose. Okay?
And so how does that impact me as an entrepreneur? So, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm walking around with this unforgiveness. How would it manifest, or what does it look like in my business as an entrepreneur?
Well, I find out that they can't go to the next level because they have trust issues, okay? And they get angry quick, they have a bad attitude. They try to hide it, but see, what's in you, the word said what's in you is going to come out of you, okay? I'm just paraphrasing, but it is. And it's going to show up. And your customer will say, well, what in the world is going on? Did she have a bad day today? That's not like her. Well, that's her true nature, okay? You've got to have God in your life. People want to just push him aside. Act like he's not there. Only call him when you need him. Wrong answer. You need to have him in your business all the time. He's supposed to be first, but it says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. And we've got to stop trying to be like the world, what the world does, to get a quick buck, quick dollar. No, that's not what it's about. It's about loving God and talking to him and saying, Lord, where do you want me to go? What you want me to do? Should I move to this next adventure? Should I invest in this stock? Should I join this particular company? What do you want me to do?
I love that. Just ensuring that in every area, in every aspect. So what is the mission of your business?
My mission in my business is to teach people to change. When you change the way you think, you can change your living.
Oh.
Yeah.
Break that down a little bit. If you change the way you think, you can change the way you live.
Okay. That's right. It's just like what the Bible says about renewing your mind, okay? You have to have a made-up mind. I tell my clients, I cannot help you if you do not have a made-up mind to want to forgive. I had a made-up mind that I wanted to forgive my mother. I wanted to have a mother and daughter relationship with her so bad that I was willing to do whatever it took, okay, to make her laugh, to give her what she wanted. It was money. I know that she loved money, so I would, give her money. Can't go wrong with that these days anyway. Nobody's gonna turn down money, okay? They're just not gonna do it, all right? I would buy her, a complete outfit, which I thought she liked. She gave away some of it and kept the hat and the shoes, but it didn't matter. It hurted me for a minute, but you know what? I still tried to please her. I still tried to, and I still cried out to God. Now, I'm not gonna say wasn't consistent. Sometimes I did pause because it hurted me to the core, but I kept working at it and I kept going. So the Lord blessed. After 38 years, she finally hugged me and told me that she loved me and felt the Spirit of God when she did it. So it was just amazing.
Wow.
It was
amazing. That's a powerful story as far as forgiveness, and it may not happen as quickly as you want it, but it can happen.
It can happen.
And so, Angela, we are definitely going to continue this conversation right after these messages. Hello and welcome back to Talking Business with Beverly. I am your host and business strategist, Beverly Walthauer. And so before the break, we were speaking with Angela. She's a forgiveness coach. And so she was just kind of sharing a little bit of her story, her journey to forgiveness, but also she touched a little bit on how she supports her clients as well. And so Angela, I want to dive a little bit deeper on how you actually support your clients through that process. Okay. So when your clients usually come to you, like what's usually going on? Like what kind of pushes them to say, you know what, I need some support in this area. So what's usually going on with them?
Well, they're finding out that they, like I said before, they can't really have a stable relationship and they want to know why. And mostly, like I said, they have lost their way with God because of all the things that they've done. When you're hurt and you're in pain, you inflict that pain on others, okay? And you don't mean to, but you end up doing that. Okay, so it's got to be a better way. And then they find out they're not working like they should on their job. Things have changed. People notice their character, the way they dress, the way they act. Everything has changed, so it's affecting their job. And some of them even get laid off or fired because of it. So now it's time to reevaluate, see what's going on, what happened, what is going on in your life. And it ends up something happened in their past when they were growing up, childhood. Either they were abused sexually or abused physically in another way, as far as being violent. Someone was beating on them, hitting on them, locked them up in a closet, whatever the situation is, and they just accepted it because you were told, you better not tell nobody if you tell anybody, I'm gonna kill you, or I'm gonna hurt you, or I'm gonna hurt your mama, or I'm gonna hurt your parents. If you tell anybody what I did to you today, do you understand? So it's family secrets, and a lot of that is going on even now today.
Yes.
Family
Yes.
secrets.
Yes. And so, and you know, when we carry those secrets, just like you said, a lot of times we're like, well, that happened when I was 5. But knowing as an adult, you know, 30, 40, 50 years later, that stuff is still having an impact on them.
Yes.
So what does the process of forgiveness look like? Like, does it mean I forget everything that happened? Like, what does that process look like?
Well, it's not like you're going to forget everything that happened, no. But the process is that, like I said, beginning, I said the first thing you're going to do is ask God to forgive you for not being the daughter that He called you to be. As far as the Bible tells us to love our enemies. And I know that's not easy, believe me. Been there, done that, with a t-shirt and holes in it, and come back again, get another hole, another t-shirt, wear it again. But eventually I learned that you have to stay in your lane. You do your part and let God handle the results. Okay, so as I begin to do that, as my clients begin to do that, and then they ask for forgiveness to God for treating their family that way, inflicting that pain on them, then okay, let's talk about who God says that you are. I have 12 affirmations of faith and scriptures that I give them, describing who God says they are. A lot of people don't know that they're a child of God. They are queens, they are kings, they are sons and daughters. They are holy, they are separated. You know, they're ambassadors for Christ. When you find out who you are in God, it changes your whole outlook. Now let's see what God says. Now that you know what God says about you, who He calls you are, now let's find out about God. Let's find out about Him.
I love that. And, you know, affirmations, because we hear about that all the time, you know, affirm, affirm, affirm. But you take it a little differently, because you said, hey, I go back to who you are, who God said you are, and have them speak those things over their life. Is that what you have them do?
Over and over again. And I also have a prayer that they say for their families. They speak it over their lives, that my family is powerful men and women of God. They are tithers, they are sowers, they are givers, they love God, they are Bible readers, tongue talking, you know, all of that and stuff, you know, instead of gossiping all the time. Because if we can get in that self-pity mode, that we want to be the victim, and we will gossip to other folks so they can, oh baby, I'm so sorry that happened to you, you know, that's such a disgrace. But you're trying, and then all the time you're saying you're trying to win your family over. But how can you win them over when you're speaking negative about them? And then when they finally come to church, people are like, oh girl, that's the one she's been talking about. Yeah, that's her sister. Oh, okay, you know, oh, that's her mama. Oh yeah. You don't want that. You want to speak positive of your family. Because remember, the Bible says you have what you say. So if you keep saying you're sick and tired, you're going to be what? Sick and tired.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. And so, you know, and you said a lot of powerful things there. And one thing that's kind of resonating with me is you have them look at themselves first and kind of what they not necessarily play the part in the situation that may have happened when they were 5, but it's like how they've been responding to it since then.
Right.
Is what I'm hearing.
I want them to, first of all, to find out the root of the situation first. Find the root. Okay, now since we found out that it happened when you were 5, that your uncle abused you, and the child that you had, even though they told you, they said that was your brother, that's your son. Okay, now he's found out. Now that's, you know, a lot of trauma. But I want you to admit that it happened. First we get the root. We admit that it happened. We accept it. Now let's get the solution. Okay? Let's find a solution. So that's the stages I break it down in, because people don't want to accept that.
Exactly.
They don't want to admit it, and the family don't want to admit it. You know how people die, and on the deathbed they tell you,
the
or they already gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then you find out everything.
Yes.
You know, but it's too late then to jump in the coffin and say, I'm sorry, please forgive me. You know, you need to tell them why they're alive. Forgive me.
Yes.
Yes.
And so one thing you touched on a little bit earlier, you used the phrase, you know, people tell you to get over it. You know, as I'm going through something and I hear that phrase, get over it. What does that mean, to get over it? Because for some people I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. You know, so what does that mean?
I don't like that word. I don't use that. I don't use that. Because everybody's system is different. It's just like your body. What I can take, somebody else can take. So that's what I like about my course, is I give hands-on guidance, okay? I just don't have you fill out a whole lot of paperwork. I don't like paperwork, Beverly. I don't like paperwork. You know, my coach, she tells me, a mentor always tells me, look and see what's out there, Angela.
Yes.
Look and see what other people are doing, you know, in your field, what you're trying to do. I'm like, look at all this paperwork. They want to know everything about me. I mean, what color I like, what color I don't like, what kind of ice cream I want. I mean, all these questions. I was like, no way am I joining you. No. So me, let's paperwork.
Get to the
I
basics.
mean, self-analysis. That's all I. The sheet I got. I just want to know a few things. Let's talk.
Okay.
Because I find out when people talk, they just want somebody to listen to them.
That is it.
You know,
that is
80% listening, sometimes 100%. Because for so long they haven't had anybody they can open up with without feeling that person would judge them.
Exactly.
Because we'll do that, and that's not right. God said, let the wheat and the tare grow together.
Exactly.
So why should I sit up and judge anybody? I don't judge anybody. Tell me what's going on in your life.
I love that. I love the fact that you kind of, walk them through it. It's not a bunch of paperwork. So that
Yeah.
is huge. And so, Angela, we are going to continue this conversation right after these messages. Hello and welcome back to Talking Business with Beverly. I am your host and business strategist, Beverly Walthour. And so we've just been having an amazing conversation with Angela Day. She is a forgiveness coach and also an author as well. And, before the break, we were kind of talking about the process of how you walk people through that point of, whatever trauma they may have experienced in the past to kind of getting them to a space of solution. And so for that, what does it mean to find a solution? What could that look like? What could a solution look like for someone who's had that kind of experience? They walked in this unforgiveness for all this long time. What are some of those solutions that they could actually experience?
Well, the first thing that they need to do is like I said, the affirmations, find out who they are in God, what God says about them, and then start with. That's what I did. I had to figure out who I was in God, and once I did that, then I started finding out about who God was, how He's a mighty God, awesome God, omnipotent God. There is no one like Him, and that He loves me in spite of myself. And stop beating myself up because of the past. Let it go. He told me to stop letting my past predict my future. Okay? Wow. So I said, okay, Lord, So I began to study it's the 5 Languages of Love by Dr. Gary Chapman.
5 Languages, yes.
I love that book. I love that one. And then I started reading Boundaries by Dr. Henry McLeod. That was excellent. And he has another one called Safeguard People. Safe People. Oh, that's those 3 books are awesome. And then the Divine Revelation of Hell. Now I know I'm going another direction, but Divine Revelation of Hell by Mary Kay Baxter, that really brought me, because the God took her to hell, and I started reading the book. I said, "Oh no!" They said, before you read it, pray before you read it. Yeah, pray before you read it. Pray while you're reading it, and then pray after you read it. And I was praying. It got dark, and the clouds. I said, "Oh Jesus!"
Hey,
so I said, I'm serious. I'm not going to hell. I mean, it made me turn around like scared straight. In the prison, I was scared straight.
Wow.
Okay. Truly was.
That makes sense. And so, and just I think it's powerful that you kind of went through the process yourself, and you kind of walked through that process so you understand what it's like for your clients to go through that, go through those phases. It's
not easy for them and stuff, and especially it's not easy for them to talk about it. But once they can admit it and get it out, you got to get to the root. I had to figure out what was going on in my life. Why did First of all, what happened? I mean, some things I don't even remember, Beverly. I mean, my cousins and some of my friends told me, "Girl, your book is fluffy." I said, "What do you mean it's fluffy?" Yeah, fluffy. They said, "You remember this, and this?" I said, "No, I don't remember that." Girl, you could have went. I said it wasn't meant for me to do that. God wanted me to tell that story, then He would have. Right.
Exactly.
But it's just a matter of them, like I said, they have to have a made up mind. I cannot help you. Let's tell you that again. I cannot help you if you do not make up your mind to forgive. Okay? You've got to have a mindset. Just like the word says, if you're willing and obedient, you can eat the good of the land. Well, if you're willing and obedient with my program, then yes, you can forgive. Let it go. Aren't you tired of living in misery? It's a proven fact. The psychologist and Johns Hopkins and University of Arizona did a study. And I couldn't believe it. I was researching all these places, and I said, "Oh my God, all these famous hospitals and universities are doing unforgiveness studies." Yes. Yeah, and they found out that people with unforgiveness have anxiety attacks, low blood pressure, hypertension, migraines, ulcers, heart attacks, even death. I mean,
Yes.
it could be just as serious death.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
even when you touched on it before, when you
Yeah.
mentioned, you know, how they kind of have like a visceral, like they
Yeah.
have a physical reaction. People don't
Yeah.
understand that it does impact you physically as well.
Right.
It can literally kill you. So
But a lot of people don't know that, you
Yeah.
know? They don't. That's the one thing I love about it. When I
Yes.
tell them, they be like, what?
And I love how you also said, you know, they have to come to you ready because it's nothing
Yeah.
you can do. Like if
No.
they're not ready to release that, then it's not much
worth,
you can do.
It's not worth my time, no.
Oh,
I don't want them to waste the money, waste their time, and waste mine. Because there's somebody out there, like my coach says, there's somebody out there waiting on me, you know, to speak to them, to help them to grow. Because in talking to most women, they want to have a relationship with their mother.
Yes.
They want to have a relationship with their daughter, but they just don't know how.
How.
Because the environment they grew up in.
It was
See,
a
it was
model.
a generational
It
curse, and it went straight down. Okay,
mhm.
because their mother told them, "Don't you tell nobody." So they tell their daughter, "Don't you tell nobody," and it just keeps going on. They tell their daughter, so
same
forth,
thing.
so on, the same thing, instead of getting it out, you know, and sharing. And we got to stop hiding. We got to stop the family secrets. Don't wait till you're dead or on your deathbed. Tell your child, talk to your daughter, let them know so they won't grow up with a man abusing them or beating on them or beating on their children, or they're beating up on the man, you know, and doing things like that. But
That
yeah,
makes sense. That makes sense. And so for you, and you touched on this just a little bit, but what makes you different from other forgiveness coaches out there? Like how you actually interact and engage with your clients? What makes your services different?
because I talk to my clients. I'm old school. I love you. Yeah, and I don't have a whole lot of paperwork either for you to fill out.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I like to be real down to earth, okay? And I find, you know, a lot of people are just getting away from talking. You know, they just want to do, don't get me wrong, they say this camera, virtual Zoom, but sometimes you just need to have a person right in front of you to talk to you and stuff and everything like that. And I like that. I'm old school. I'm traditional. I love that. I love talking. I love to listen too. I can listen. You know, I can listen too. But I just love people, and I want them to talk to me and tell me what's going on in their lives so I can help them.
That's powerful.
You know?
That's powerful. Well, Angela, believe it or not, we are almost out of time. So, you know, but before we do go, share with my viewers, how they can get in contact with you. So what's your email, your website?
Okay. My email is author@AngelaLday.com. Again, that's author@AngelaLday.com. Website's being working on, but you can go to my Facebook page and join. It's called How to Love the Hell Out of Folks. You can't miss it. How to Love the Hell Out of Folks.
Yes.
Okay. And you go there and you can join and you can see me, okay?
Angela, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, it's been a blessing. I appreciate you. Thank you.
You're welcome. And we also want to thank you, the viewers, as well, as joining us. And just remember, as entrepreneurs, we want to ensure that we not just address our business needs, but also our physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial needs as well. Until next time, thank you.